everyone, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce.
And we're Better Half Reviews. And today we are talking about Camp Pinetop. It's designed by Stephen Davies, and the art is by Stephen Davies and Jason Washburn. And it's published by Talon Strikes Studios.
In Camp Pinetop, you're at a scout camp, and you're going around collecting merit badges and trying to advance to the highest level.
Alright, so let's check it out. Alright, so this is the setup of Camp Pinetop. At the beginning, you need to choose one of the player colors. We chose purple. Take out your 4 campers and your 4 mastery tokens. And this is a token that lets you know what badge level you are at throughout the game. And here's the starting player token. To create the setup, you're going to use different types of land tiles. There's blue land tiles, green land tiles, and gray land tiles. In a 2 to 3 player game, you're going to shuffle up 4 of each of them and put out a 4x3 grid. If you're playing a 4 or 5 player game, you'll do a 4x4 grid. Each player gets a board and the matching badges that go with it. There are 4 mastery cards throughout the game. There are more to choose from, but you deal out 4 and that's all you need for the game. And this will be your draw pile for your resources. To start the game, everybody is dealt different amount of cards. The first player gets 5, the second player gets 6, and so on. And so you'll notice they have these shapes underneath that match with the land tiles. And then these are the different resources that you have throughout the game. So in Camp Pinetop, you're going to be collecting different cards, and then you're going to be moving around the board and discarding those cards to earn different badges. Each badge gives you some different ability throughout the game, and as you upgrade and earn certain badges, you'll move further along the track in your scouting troop, and the first person to get to the very bottom is the winner of the game. So let's talk about how you play it. So everybody needs to place one of their campers somewhere on the map. If you place your camper where another camper is, you'll have to pay them a card. So keep that in mind.
So on your turn, you may do one of 4 types of actions. You may draw 2 cards as one action. You may draw 1 card and move your camper as another action. You may move your camper and pay cards to get a merit badge as one of your actions. Or you can place a new camper out onto the board.
If you choose to draw 2 face-up cards, note that the deck is splitting these face-up cards in half. So whenever you draw face-up cards, you have to pick one side or the other to draw from. Or you could choose to pick up 1 card here and do 1 card that's off the top of the deck. So I'll draw these 2 cards and then you replace. If I were to draw a wild card that was face-up, I would only get to draw that 1 card for my turn. However, if I just happened to draw it from the top, I would have an extra card. If at the start of your turn there are 3 cards that have the same supply symbol and you want to draw cards, you could choose to discard all of the matching cards and then replace them with new cards.
If I choose the draw and move action, I can draw a single face-up card or draw from the top of the deck and then move my camper. Note, if I'm doing this action, I can't draw this wild. I would have to draw something else. When you move your camper, you can go up, down, left, or right, but you can't move off the board. And you can only move 1 space at a time. Also, you can't move diagonally. If I move my camper onto a spot with another camper, I have to give that player one of my cards.
Another action is moving your camper and gaining an achievement patch. So when you move, whatever patch you cross over on that new tile is the one that you can earn. And here is what the cost is. So this one says it needs 2 green hatchets. I have 2 green hatchets. I will discard these. And I gain my badge. So this is the badge that I got, the camping badge. And this says immediately swap any 2 campers on the board. So I'm going to place this on top of the matching picture to show that I've earned it. And I can swap 2 campers on the board. They could be my own or they could be somebody else's. Right now there's only 2 campers on the board, but hey, let's just go for it.
Badges can have immediate effects, like the camping badge, or they can have ongoing effects, like these bottom badges. Some of the ongoing effects help you move around the board or collect cards, while other ongoing effects help you pay for merit badges. Additionally, each of these badges can be upgraded. So once you have one already, if you were to cross over that badge and pay for it again, you have an upgraded effect on the back side of the badge. And you know it's the upgraded effect by this arrow symbol on the badge. The last action you could choose to do is place another camper on the board. To do that, you take 2 cards with the same location symbol, discard them, and then place a camper on a location with that symbol. If I place my camper on a location with another camper, I have to pay them a card.
So up here at the top, we have the mastery cards. So for the 4 mastery cards that you have for the game, they give you different options. So when certain conditions are met, you could earn one of the patches on this card. So this one says, have 3 campers on a single map card. So if I have all 3 campers on a map card on my turn, I could use one of my mastery tokens and place it on one of these spots. And that would let me earn that badge. So that's one way to earn a badge without using cards. You can only place one of your tokens once per card.
So as Allison already mentioned, you win the game by advancing through the different badges and becoming a badger. To advance from one badge to the next, you have to meet certain conditions. So to advance to this first step, you have to have 2 achievement patches of one kind. Once you complete that, you immediately move forward. To advance to this next step, you have to have any one of these columns of merit badges. So for example, 2 green and 2 blue, or 2 blue and 2 gray, and 1 advanced merit badge to move up. So once I achieve that, by having 2 green, 2 blue, and an advanced badge, I can then move up to the next rank. Note that as you progress through the different badges, your card or hand limit changes. The first person to get to Badger wins.
If at some point you run out of cards to draw from, you'll just simply shuffle up the deck and place it out again. There are also some mini expansions, so this one has some critters and different weather effects that you can add into the game to make it a little bit more difficult for yourself. There's also another little expansion with a tower that gives you some extra cards to draw from and changes some things with your movement. And along with that, there's some extra cards that give you multiple options to use. So like if you use this card, you can use it for a wild and a green, or either or. Alright, so that's how you play the game. Let's talk about how we feel about it. Bryce, what are some of the pros?
So I really like the theme of this game. It was nostalgic for me. I am an Eagle Scout and went through the Boy Scouts program, earned a ton of merit badges, went to some scout camps. So it was just really fun just kind of having a little bit of memory in like getting camping merit badges and different things like that.
It was also nostalgic for me too. I was not a scout, but my brothers and my dad were all involved in scouting, so like I was thinking about them the entire time I was playing. I was like, yeah, there's like no games about scouting and earning merit badges, so like I thought that was really cool too.
And also I'm from Arizona and there's Pinetop, and I've gone camping in Pinetop too, and just other places in Arizona, so that was just kind of a nod to that, name, and again, just a kind of another nostalgic factor for me. But I really like the theme. You're just going around to different parts of the camp and trying to earn merit badges, and honestly,
Achievement patches.
Achievement patches. Sorry, I keep saying merit badges because that's what they're called in Boy Scouts.
I also like the artwork with it. I like that it's kind of all like, just nostalgic campy feeling and the cute little critters on it. But I thought it was really well designed where they have different symbols and different shapes for different symbols and different colors. So I thought it was pretty colorblind friendly, where you have the different like the triangles, the circles, and the squares, and different colors, and it's pretty laid out well, and it's pretty easy to understand overall.
I think it's a good family weight game.
Probably like a mid-family weight game, yeah.
Yeah, where you can get really in depth with the strategy, but it, on the base level, it's go somewhere, pay the cards, collect more cards, go somewhere else, pay the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people could just understand that.
Yeah. So shifting over to the cons, I feel like some of the rules were a little bit ambiguous where we would read through them, but still kind of be like, wait, so what happens in this case? So it just took a little bit of like deciphering and just kind of like deciding on something. So I wish that the rules were a little bit clearer. I mean, the rules are said and stated, but there's just some cases where you're like, I'm not sure. But overall, the game is pretty easy to understand.
One example of kind of the rules ambiguity is on those mastery cards. We weren't sure if it was like every symbolized patch on there or if it was just the one big patch on the bottom. We decided it was all of them, and we think that's kind of the right interpretation of it. But that's just kind of one example. Just it is stated in the rule book, but we were like, does it mean this or this? And it just seemed a little ambiguous.
And this isn't necessarily a con, but I think this game shines better with more than 2 players, because there's several cards in the game where, like the mastery cards, for example, like some of those instances of like having 3 different players or 4 different players on the same card, or something like that. It's less likely for things like that to happen in a 2-player game because there's less campers, and but yeah, I mean, it didn't ruin the game. I still had a lot of fun, but I think it would be better at 3 or 4 players or so. And then when we were learning the game, I got a little bit confused on which patch I was supposed to be able to earn, like, because you're on a card with a patch and you pass over it, but you're earning the patch of the card that you moved onto over. So that sounded confusing, didn't it? That's how it felt in my brain when we were learning the game. I was like, wait, which patch? It's the one that you went over. I'm like, I went over 2 patches. Which patch is it? But then there's, so for me, when I'm playing this game, there's a patch that says, like when you move on to a card, you can earn like the patch that you crossed over or the patch across from it or whatever. I try to earn that as quickly as possible because then I can just like pick a patch for the most part and not have to worry about it. But anyway, that is like a side note. Anyway, moving on. So then another thing is the player boards. I wish they were like a little bit thicker or some type of different quality. I don't know. So when we got it, they were a little bit curved. And so they're still kind of that way. I try to like put something flat on it before we play the game. It's not a huge thing, but when you're placing the little achievement patches on it, they can kind of like curl up just a little bit. So it's a minor inconvenience. But overall, I think the quality of the game is pretty good, considering also it's a smaller box game from a smaller company. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I really like the camper meeples too. They're like really detailed, and they have like a little like sash across their chest and stuff.
And
I think they're really cool.
They look like little foxes. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they look like little foxes. And anyway, and yeah, so I love all the little different details about this game, and we got some of the mini expansions that were available, and I like that brings like some variability to it. Or if you're feeling like you're doing really great with the game, you can have those weather events, and sometimes it can help you, sometimes it's not helpful, and like the critters too. Yeah, so I like that there's just lots of different options and different ways that you can play the game. So overall, Camp Pinetop is a win for me. Not that I win it often, but I think it's a win as a game. It's got fun little components and great artwork, and it's strategic. And of course, like you were saying, I really love the theme that it's unique.
I think if you were ever in like scouting or anything, playing this game is going to kind of give you a kickback to like a scout camp or something. So I really like that aspect of it, and I agree. I think this is a great game, and I think it's a good, like we said, family weight game. If you have kind of a little bit older children, you can play this with them, and they'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully we can try this sometime soon with a higher player count, because I think it'll definitely be even more fun. All right, so that's what we think about Camp Pinetop. We really enjoyed it. You should check it out and see if it's a game for you.
And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. And follow us on Instagram because we do a lot of great things over there as well.
All right, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce, and we're Better Half Reviews.
Happy gaming.
Have fun.
Camp Time Pop. Time Pop? What did I just say?
Camp Time Pop.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Okay. Doink. I had like no room for my hand.